How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about DMZ 2, one of my personal favorite modes coming to Modern Warfare 4 this October. There is a lot of information to go through, so make sure you like the video and subscribe because I want to go all out on DMZ content this year. So DMZ 2 takes place in a brand new location called Hajin. It's set on the Korean Peninsula, right at the tri-point border near Russia. DMZ 2 will take place after the events of the Modern Warfare 4 campaign. The devs are calling Hajin one of the largest maps Call of Duty has ever built, and on top of that, dynamic weather is in the game and can change throughout the match. So for example, one game it could be raining, another it could be snowing, or just a casual sunny day. First thing I want to talk about is loot, because this is where DMZ 2 makes a huge change from DMZ 1. So in DMZ 1, when you extracted with random stuff like stims, aspirin, GPUs, they all just disappeared into nothingness. But in DMZ 2, everything you extract, you keep, and you use it to craft certain items. Now the way looting actually works, when you pick up an item, it gets broken down into one of four materials. You'll have four categories of resources. You've got synthetics, electronics, metals, and chemicals. So for example, a hard drive is an electronic, while sulfuric acid could be is a chemical. You extract with them, they get sorted into those categories, and then you use them to build stuff, which brings me to the next topic, crafting. So in the main menu, you have your forward operating base. We'll talk more about that in a second, and inside that is a 3D printer. This thing is your crafting station, and it can make a huge range of gear. You can print things like armor vests and plate carriers, backpacks of different sizes, tactical equipment like night vision goggles and parachutes. Yes, that's right, you gotta make your own parachutes now. Lethals like grenades, consumables, painkillers, radiation blockers, field upgrades, and kill streaks. So let's say you want to make a riot shield. You might need 10 metal and 5 electronics, while say for a stun grenade, you might need 1 metal and 2 electronics. You get the idea. As you play DMZ, you'll also find recipes on the map. They haven't gone into detail on what exactly they are, but apparently you can create powerful items with these recipes, so it could be big. I'd like to imagine it's something from Modern Warfare Zombies where you could kill a boss and you get the ray gun blueprint, and then you extract with the ray gun blueprint, and then you can have a ray gun. But you'd still need the materials to craft whatever the blueprint is. Next, we're going to talk about the forward operating base. This is essentially your home base between every deployment. Your forward operating base is where you go before and after every match. It's got a bunch of stations, and it actually upgrades and visually changes as you level up. You've got the stash, which is your inventory, weapons, equipment, consumables, valuables, and it all goes here between deployments, and your stash size will increase as you level up. The gunsmith is a place where you buy weapons and attachments using your in-game cash. So when you first start DMZ, you're actually going to be given a limited amount of weapons to choose from. And if you want to get more weapons to build, you actually have to go out into the DMZ and find weapon blueprints. So for example, if you want a shotgun, you actually have to go around and look for a shotgun blueprint. And once you extract with that shotgun blueprint, then you can actually build it in the gunsmith whenever you want. You can only have up to 5 attachments on a weapon at a time, plus the Apex attachment, so that'll be 6 in total. But the devs have actually confirmed that you can get 8 weapon attachments by finding them on the map. My guess is one of the methods to get these 8 attachments is probably by defeating a boss. Next is the weapon vendor. So the weapon vendor is going to be really useful for when you're first starting the game. Basically, it's going to have a set amount of weapons that you can choose and buy from. So if, say for example, your favorite weapon is in that store, but you don't actually have the blueprint to make it yourself, you can buy that weapon, take it into the DMZ, and have a good time. The weapons will rotate in and out every now and then, so every gun is going to eventually appear and you can just buy it. You've also got your own firing range, and I believe, not too sure though, you can actually go into the firing range with your mates and just shoot stuff. And the wallet is returning from DMZ 1. It's where you store all your cash that you exfil with. You can use that to buy weapons, you can recover lost operators, pay for intel and lieutenants, and a bunch more stuff. And here's something really cool. You've also got the deploy station, which comes with a paid infill system. Before you drop into the match, your squad can actually choose how you want to infill. So you can do the normal thing and just go in quiet on foot, or you can spawn it with a helicopter or even a large plane. You can even pay to have a vehicle dropped with you, so if you hit a certain level, you could spawn in with an LTV or potentially a boat or a chopper. It's going to be a pretty neat feature if you want to get around the map fast, complete missions quickly, or just jump players before they even realize what's going on. Next, I want to talk about the progression. So in DMZ 1, when you exfilled, you'd get a perk. Exfill 10 times, you got 10 perks. In DMZ 2, they've replaced that with a full trait system, basically skill trees. By playing the game, getting kills, completing contracts, your operator gets stronger and stronger. You earn trait points and spend them on one of 3 traits: combat, looting, or utility. There are roughly 40 upgrades to unlock across these trees, so I can imagine for looting you get things like better drop rates, the ability to carry more items. For combat it could be things like faster health regen, faster reload speed, reduced recoil, stuff like that. Utility might cover things like holding your breath underwater longer, moving quieter, maybe even something like the ghost perk. Now in DMZ 1, you died with a 10 exfil streak. If you die, it's gone, you gotta grind for it again. In DMZ 2, if you die, you lose the operator, and all their upgrades, but you can actually pay in-game cash from your wallet to rescue them. So let's say you've got an operator with 18 upgrades deep into their skill tree, it might cost you something like 80,000 cash to bring them back, and you just get everything back. Now here's something I want to talk about that's really exciting: bounty boards. So the devs wanted to give something special for the PvP players, and they did not disappoint. A bounty board is a list of the most dangerous players in DMZ, people who go around killing other operators, and you can actually be a bounty hunter and get rewarded for taking them out. So basically, when you kill a player, you get a wanted level, essentially, and a price gets put on your head. The more people you kill, the more visible and trackable you become, so other players can see you on the bounty board and actively come and hunt you down. If you take out a bounty target yourself, you get a big cash payout, plus you get to collect their dog tags, extract with those dog tags, and you get some really nice rewards, as well as some free bragging rights. Now let's move on to lieutenants. So it's not just players that you're hunting. Hajin is full of hostile lieutenants, boss tier enemies leading specialized units throughout the map. At your forward operating base, there is a boss board where you can review intel on those lieutenants before you drop in. You can even pay cash for specific intel to pinpoint their locations more accurately before a match, and giving you an advantage if another squad is also hunting them. There are also hunt towers scattered across Hajin. Climb one of those and access the terminal, and you get intel on the closest lieutenant to your position. When you kill a lieutenant, they drop dog tags, extract with those tags, and they'll populate your boss board, which helps you track and hunt future targets. If you pick up a lieutenant tag, you'll also be marked on the map for people to find you, so you got to keep that in mind. Another thing you need to worry about in the DMZ is the AI enemies. So they've got a bit of a wanted star level system. So basically, the more noise you make, the more enemies you kill, you're actually going to progressively ramp up how the enemies function. So say for example, you're going around killing people left and right, they're actually going to be calling in massive reinforcements the longer you hang around. Think of it a little bit like Spec Ops Survival. So you start off pretty average, you got the average enemies, and as you make more and more noise, they're going to be calling in more reinforcements. I'm talking like attack helicopters, heavily armored troops, drone swarms, juggernauts, and eventually what they call Deathstalker helicopters, which sounds terrifying. So basically you want to play it smart, control the pace, and when you need to kill and how you need to kill. Quick little thing on weapons. So when you scavenge weapons off the ground in Hajin, they won't always be in perfect condition. You might find weapons with damaged optics, broken attachments, unstable components, which will affect how the weapons are handled. And lieutenants carry uniquely customized weapons with special attachments and camos. Also worth noting, weapon progression tracks across both multiplayer and DMZ, so you're not starting from scratch if you've been grinding in multiplayer. Proximity chat is also returning, of course, and it's getting an upgrade with some big improvements. The closer the enemy is to you, the clearer that you hear them, and you can actually pinpoint which direction the voice is coming from. So if someone's talking to you from the left, you'll hear it from the left. So that is literally everything that we know about DMZ 2 so far. Honestly, I am pretty hyped for this. It feels like a completely different game to multiplayer. It feels like a standalone game in general. We're going to be getting even more info at the Xbox Game Showcase on Monday, so make sure to check that out. If you are as excited as I am for this, then make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell because I want to make so much DMZ content. Also, drop a comment below on what you're most hyped about in DMZ 2. Personally, I'm looking forward to those bosses and a bit of that PvP action. Otherwise, thank you for watching everyone, and stay frosty. Peace.